Heard exclusively live on Magic. This is the UK Top 20 Rewind with Pete Murray.
Hi.
Hello there, and get ready for another fast and frantic couple of hours in which we'll showcase two more randomly chosen vintage charts from the past on the UK Top 20 Rewind. Shaun Tilley will be here a little later on with memories of May 1974, but before we get around to that, it's me, Pete Murray, remembering the way it was back in August 1967. Now, this really was a very eventful month and year. London's Dartford Tunnel opened, the Marine Broadcasting Act came into force, banning all pirate radio stations. And in football, Coventry City manager Jimmy Hill announced he was quitting to pursue a career in television. British playwright Joe Orton died, as too did Beatles manager Brian Epstein. And yours truly was hosting TV's Top of the Pops. During this hour, we'll play you each of the 5 new entries on this particular survey, as well as one or two that were heading upwards and a few that were heading the other way, such as Carrie Ann from the Hollies.
20.
Carrie Ann from the Hollies, a song that took group members Alan Clark, Tony Hicks and Graham Nash almost 2 years to write. After reaching number 2, it was spending its final week on the chart at number 20. In August 1967, this next record, on the other hand, was making its top 20 debut for Diana Ross and the Supremes. Here's Reflection.
UK Top 20 Rewind. New entry 19. 2 classic countdowns from the past on Magic's UK Top 20 Rewind. Pete Murray, 1967. UK Top 20 Rewind. New entry 16. Pete Murray with Magic's UK Top 20 Rewind.
A lot of people were quite shocked when they found out that the Flower Pot Men were actually British. By George, they were. Yes, it was on its way up to number 4, but here we find it as a chart entry at number 16. Let's go to San Francisco. And it won't be the only time we're mentioning that particular city during this hour. I can tell you that. Hello there, I'm Pete Murray, rewinding August 1967 for you. Just for you. Now we'll take a listen to Aretha Franklin, who was down to number 14 right after this track from Desmond Decker and the Aces, which was also on the way down.
15. 14. More of your favorite music. Greatest hits, non-stop. This is Magic.
A reworking of the old Otis Redding song, Respect. That gave the Queen of Soul, Aretha Franklin, an American chart topper. In Britain, though, it only got to number 10. And on the chart we're taking a look at from August 1967, it was moving down 4 spots to number 14. Now, despite releasing an excellent follow-up called Sam, British singer Keith West only ever secured one UK Top 20 hit. And this was it, eventually rising to number 2. An excerpt from a teenage opera.
UK Top 20 Rewind. New entry 13.
Count the days into years.
Howard, Mark, Al, Jim, Chuck and John, the Turtles, with She'd Rather Be With Me. After peaking at number 4, was down 4 places to number 8 in August 1967. Anita Harris was sliding down to number 7 with Just Loving You. But the Tremolos were heading in the other direction with Even the Bad Times Are Good at number 6. We'll give that a spin for you after we speak to Shaun Tilley, who's going to tell us all about some of the delights in store during the next hour. Shaun, what have you got in store for us?
Pete, can I first of all say how wonderful it is to have you on this show?
It's a great pleasure to be here. I'm thoroughly enjoying every moment of it.
It really is. It's a pleasure for me to be sitting next to a legend here. He's a very modest chap, and I'm probably embarrassing him by saying that, but I mean it. I genuinely mean it. It's great to have you on. In the next hour, we've got ABBA, we've got Mud, Paper Lace, Sparks, Ardeen Taylor, The Osmonds, The Rubettes, and many more of your favourite songs from May 1974. Whatever you do, don't miss it.
Sounds like an exciting lineup to me.
We're going to hand back to you now.
No, don't do that. Why do you want to do that?
Because you've got so many more songs to play.
Oh, all right then.
And I can wait anyway. I'll just wait back in the wings here.
Oh, no, don't wait. Stay with me. Stay with me.
6.
There are times in this life of mine.
On his way up to number 2, Tom Jones with I'll Never Fall in Love Again. Sadly, the single was to go no higher. And that's just about it from me, Pete Murray. I hope you've enjoyed this part of the UK Top 20 Rewind, and get ready for Shaun Tilley, who'll be along very soon with our vintage chart from May 1974. In the meantime, we've just got one more record left to play, and it's the big one from August 1967. Now, this tune was written and produced by John Phillips of the Mamas and Papas, who played earlier on, of course, and it's the second song on this particular countdown to feature San Francisco on the title. No surprises then when I tell you that Scott McKenzie was still on top of August 1967 Hit Parade with some flowers in his hair. Many thanks for your company. I wish you all the best. Goodbye.
If you're going to San Francisco.
This is the UK Top 20 Rewind with Shaun Tilley.
Well, what can you say? I think we use the word legend far too much these days. It should be reserved for people like Pete Murray, who brought us that wonderful chart from August 1967. Many thanks, Pete. And we move on to May 1974 with me, Shaun Tilley. This was the month and year when US jazz star Duke Ellington died. Sir Alf Ramsey was sacked as England's soccer manager. Dutch side Feyenoord beat Tottenham Hotspur 4-2 on aggregate to win football's UEFA Cup. Mass hysteria gripped the UK when David Cassidy arrived for some live concerts, and the 500th episode of Z-Cars was shown on BBC television. This is a chart that brought us 3 new entries, but we're going to start with one moving down. Mungo Jerry's Long-Legged Woman Dressed in Black.
20.
She's a long-legged woman dressed in black.
The winning song at the Eurovision during this year, and also a UK #1 for Benny, Bjorn, Frida and Anietta from ABBA, sliding to #2 with Waterloo on this hour's featured countdown. And I can't believe it, that's going to do it for yet another edition of the UK Top 20 Rewind. So on behalf of my co-host, who this week was the quite brilliant Pete Murray, this is Shaun Tilley. Thanks ever so much for listening, and please be sure to hook up with us next time around the programme when we'll see the long-awaited return of Paul Burnett. Yes, Paul Burnett back with us next week. In the meantime, we're going to leave you with the biggest and best-selling record from our May 1974 survey, and it was the only single to be released by the Rebettes, featuring the falsetto voice of Paul da Vinci. Climbing up to the top of the chart, it's Sugar Baby Love. We'll see you soon. Bye for now.
Sugar baby.